So it's alamosanews.com reported a day or two ago. Updated 2 days ago, posted December 5th, it's the 8th. The new DA, Ann Kelly, has made the decision. This is the queen of the SLV. This is the queen, the head DA over 46,000 souls of the 6-county SLV. Alamosa, Saguache, Mineral, Rio Grande. Right. Not the Rio Grande. Then what? Mineral County. There's Alamosa, Conejos, Costilla. And I think Mineral, Rio Grande, and Saguache. Right. There's 6 counties in the SLV. The DA is Ann Kelly, just newly elected, going to be in there for 2 years, fulfilling the rest of Alonzo Payne's term. And then perhaps if she wants the job again, she'll rerun and then perhaps win a full term. Now, there's been a juvenile who's been arrested for the shooting of Mollee Heeney. They say the alleged October 27th. Hey, Priscilla Wagner. Mollee Heeney definitely got shot. That seems incredible. She would go through all that, you know, bust the femur and then go to the hospital, and for it all to be just a, you know, a gag. It's all a big goof. It's just a big goof. We're all just for a little hootenanny. That's what we do for fun around here. Bust up our femurs and blame. No, the shooting happened, asshole. Now, what you could say is maybe it was justified or not justified, but we got to stop saying everything's alleged. It's like you're not even writing the actual story. The juvenile is entitled to what is called a transfer hearing, Kelly says. So they're going to make the decision to seek to charge the juvenile, right, in connection as an adult. So you have October 27th, 2022, Mollee Heeney and Ricardo Rangel, 41-year-old Ricardo Rangel and Mollee Heeney, both are going to get shot by this juvenile who's already been arrested. Who is it? They're not saying who it is because you're a juvenile, right? There's a separate set of laws for juveniles versus adults in Colorado. The juvenile is entitled to what is called a transfer hearing. So this is going to be the hearing where they decide, is he, you know, competent enough to be charged as an adult? Also, how much influence does his parents and society and friends and neighbors have? If he's going to, you know, church and school and he's doing all the things that everybody's been telling him, there is psychic determinism. Psychic determinism says if you're a 4-year-old and you pull out a pistol out of your mother's purse at Walmart and you shoot somebody, that is not the 4-year-old's fault. He's 4 years old. He barely can even walk. He probably, you know, just crapped his pants and didn't know, you know, what the hell is going on. So barely cognitive, probably won't even remember the thing if he remembers it at all. So psychic determinism says that that 4-year-old who just made a, just shot somebody at Walmart because he pulled a gun out of his mother's purse, it's not his fault. It's Walmart's fault. It's the parents' fault. It's God's fault. It's everybody else's fault because that 4-year-old didn't choose that town, that time and place, didn't choose that country, that state, didn't choose those parents, didn't choose those neighbors, didn't choose any goddamn thing about that situation. Didn't choose to go to a shop at Walmart at that moment in time. Didn't choose to put the gun in the damn handbag. The only thing they chose was their, you know, a fidgety child. And maybe they understand, you know, maybe they're somewhat responsible, but I think that as they get older, right, so society, I mean, when you're like 1 or 0, it's, that baby shit on me. That grown man is holding that baby up over your head. Isn't it his fault? No, it's the baby's fault. But as you get older, right, then it's, it becomes more. So when 18, it's totally, right, that's you and it's only you. So if he had made the shooting at 18, then 100% he's charged as an adult. I'm guessing he's, what, 15 or something? The court's going to review the facts and they're going to see if that, so she's pressing to charge the juvenile as an adult. But we'll, you know, I guess if he has a lawyer or if he'll have a public defender, the court will then decide whether we could proceed with adult charges against the juvenile. So, is this district court? Is this in front of Michael Gonzalez? He's the district court judge of the SLV. There's 4 district court judges, so it could be one of 4. There's Krista and two other ones. Barring any further action or developments, the case will continue to be pending in juvenile court until the transfer hearing is held and the court makes its ruling. The hearing is currently slated to begin on January 31st. It's scheduled to last 3 days. On October 27th, APD was dispatched at the 1200 block of Denver Street on a report. It's Alamosa of a fight/disturbance in progress. When Heeney, 25, arrived on the scene, the juvenile allegedly produced a handgun and fired, striking Heeney once in the leg and once in the shoulder. Rangel was fired in the same vicinity where Heeney was shot. Is it the same shooting, or was Rangel already shot? Because it's making it sound like Heeney and Rangel's both shot at the same time. But a lot of times there's not a perfect victim, and so there's a complicated situation. They're going to say one's the victim and one's the perpetrator. But even with Chris Farley, I could have done more with Chris Farley. So am I to blame? Maybe 0.00001%. I'm in Kentucky. He's in L.A. He's rich, you know, Mr. Big Time. My letter, if I would have wrote a letter or tried to call him, I'm sure they would have, but I didn't try. You know, I could have done something. I could have done more. But ultimately, he overdosed, and the prostitute that was with him, you know, either provided the drugs and then left him by himself. So, you know, both victims were immediately transported to a local hospital, then flown out to hospitals on the Front Range where they each underwent surgery for their injuries. Yeah, that Heeney, her femur is busted. She's got a rod in her leg. They're saying she's not going to be able to run correctly for like years. In a press conference held the day after the shooting. So that means that Mollee Heeney was actually a good person, a good cop, you know, stood up and said, I want to be a police officer to fight and, you know, be the good person, to be the cowboy on the scene, to, you know, kick some bad guy ass. And she goes to the scene and she gets shot. So she's trying to, you know, solve your fucking problems. She's trying to solve other people's problems. I think people get too polarized. Too many times you know, if you're a police officer, that person is going and trying to solve your all's, you know, but he's got a life too, or she's got a life too. So what am I trying to say? I want good police officers. I want good police officers. And all cops are bastards, not Mollee Heeney. At least not this situation here. In this situation here, Mollee Heeney is a goddamn, I don't want to say martyr, because she's living, so she's a veteran, right? She's a Purple Heart veteran, right? If you get injured in war, you get to go home, but you get a Purple fucking Heart. I mean, you said, I'm going to fight for America. I'm going to fight for what's right. I'm going to fight for what's good. I'm going to fight for the Constitution of Colorado, and then went to a situation and got shot. She's currently recuperating at her parents' house in Colorado Springs. Her femur was shattered, required surgeons to put a rod in her leg. And then Heeney is in stable condition. That Rangel is in critical. So that Ricardo Rangel might not even live. Critical condition? I mean, is he barely hanging on? According to the information from the DA's office, Rangel is out of the hospital and is in stable condition. Okay. Well, why did you... They're saying at a press conference it was saying he was critical, so he's unstable. Okay, so he's getting better. Good. All suspects are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Fantastic. That's a perfect article right there. Well written. Very good. Priscilla Wagner. So, yeah, I already kind of said we got the new DA. She's charged arson charges, So basically, in the SLV, don't think about doing arson or shootings, because the DA is going to press charges against you if you try to pull some shit like that. Is there anything else? I'll try to see. Just Ricardo Rangel. Let's see if that pulls up anything. Google News. No, just one article. Just the, oh, here at KKTV. Colorado police officer shot twice, expected to make full recovery. 2 juveniles were arrested. That's interesting, because we're only kind of talking about one, right? So here's another article about the situation. Tony Keith, is he the only goddamn journalist in Colorado. Hey, Tony Keith, why don't you stop monopolizing all the fucking stories in Colorado? He'll write the story and then never think about it ever again. Do you care if there's justice in the neighborhood? Nope. Nope, I wrote the story. I got paid. That's all I'm here to do. How do you get a job like that? Sounds like a nice job. I'm a good writer. I can observe things and ask people questions and write it down and post it on a website too.
Good morning, everyone. We are breaking into your Facebook feed. It is 10:59 in the morning here in Colorado. I'm Carla Hada, your digital anchor. KKTV 11 News. We're getting ready to hear an update on that officer who was shot twice yesterday.
I don't know if you can hear that, but that was just almost immediately when officers arrived, juvenile suspect produced a handgun, shot at Alamosa police officer. So somebody reported a fight or a disturbance, 1200 block Denver Avenue, 4:10 p.m. October 27th. We're not told anything. A disturbance. He could have been defending, his family. There was a situation where you had a guy named Thunder who went and rescued a damsel in distress, and the damn district court, because he was arrested, the damn district court judge was going to get him a mental evaluation and a drug evaluation, and then he's got to return to court to see if he passed those two evaluations. Thunder is a hero. Thunder was a hero. He should be given a fucking medal. He shouldn't be going through evaluation after evaluation. But because it's such a right-wing authoritarian court system, if the police officer arrests the person, then they just go along. So this person could totally be the victim. They could be the perpetrator. They could be the victim. That's why you have to have a good, fair court system. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. You can't separate your freedom from mine. And my freedom extends as far, as I want. I'm a maximalist. I'm not an absolutist. So I don't believe that my freedom just extends on and on and on forever and ever. Amen. I'm a maximalist because my freedom extends until it infringes upon your freedom. So if it doesn't infringe upon your freedom, then I'm an absolutist. But once you have somebody else in the neighborhood, then your freedom extends until their freedoms are infringed. So then it's a maximum. Then I get a maximum amount of freedom, but not infinite, not absolute, not forever. So yeah, and actually I'm a maximalist with all my bills of rights, all my rights in the bills of rights in both the American and the Colorado Constitution, including the natural rights, which the right-wing sovereign movement don't know shit about natural rights. They talk about common law. They kind of understand that, but not really. Officers also located another shooting victim, a man in the area. He was, rushed to the hospital. Mollee went through surgery. Chief Ken Anderson noted several times very early into the investigation. You can donate to Mollee Heeney through the Colorado Springs Police Protective Association. It says by clicking here, which goes to csppa.org, Fallen Officer Relief Fund. When filling out the form, you got to choose. Okay, the Alamosa Police Department says Heeney is expected to make a full recovery. 40-year-old Ricardo Rangel. It was one juvenile had been arrested on Monday. Police said 2 juvenile suspects were in custody. Neither suspect has been publicly identified, and it's unclear if either one's going to be charged as an adult. The response to this incident by our law enforcement agencies was tremendous. DA Ann Kelly said the day after the shooting, the Alamosa Police Department has worked incredibly hard to make sure that their officer was protected and safe. And yeah, I had to put on, she's brand new DA, so everybody, since even if she was just a new person in town, I think everybody would try to put on their best behavior. But she's the new person in town who has a bunch of power. So, anybody's got information on the case is asked to call 719-589-2548. I don't know if that's a detective or Alamosa Police or what. Usually there's a reward, but I don't know if they have the reward system up. And let's see. Alamosa is located on the south side of the state, southwest of the Great Sand Dunes National Park. And that's enough on that story. So hopefully Mollee Heeney and Ricardo Rangel, hopefully they survive. They get back on their feet quickly. Hopefully they get well soon. Get well soon.